This is the most significant XRP Ripple video ever, ladies and gentlemen. The court battle of Ripple v SEC is coming to an end. There is no more positive indicator than this one. Nobody is ready for the enormous XRP coin rally that is now underway. According to experts, XRP's value might soar above $30,000. That sounds awesome, doesn't it? Watch this video through to the end. Let's get started. Disclaimer. Finally, the protracted and painful legal dispute between the Securities and Exchange Commission and Ripple Labs is coming to a close. And it feels genuine this time. Both Ripple and the SEC have filed a combined motion to the Manhattan District Court seeking to lift the injunction that has kept $125 million in escrow, following over 4 years of litigation, public declarations, partial rulings, and market turmoil. Once engaged in bitter conflict, the parties are now requesting that the court grant a penalty of $50 million, which is far less than the original $150 million, and permit Ripple to get the remaining $75 million. This is seen in the crypto community as a strong indication that the last phase of this historic case is coming to a close. Ido Farina, a prominent crypto speaker on X, provided a concise summary. In their ongoing dispute, SEC and Ripple have jointly requested that a Manhattan district judge lift the injunction and release the $125 million civil penalty that was kept in escrow. The end is near. Supporters of XRP who have endured years of legal ambiguity that clouded the token's legitimacy and market performance find great resonance in the statement, "The end is coming." Not only is money at stake in this move, but precedent is as well. The scope of this case has always beyond that of Ripple. The crypto sector saw the SEC's initial accusation that Ripple was offering unregistered securities in the form of XRP as an existential danger. However, Judge Annalisa Torres ruled last year in a historic decision that XRP is not a security when it is sold on public exchanges. The decision was heralded as a win for the whole digital asset market, not just for Ripple. The lawsuit was technically still pending, though, due to a few outstanding concerns, such as the final penalty. Another well-known expert, John Squire, pointed out that the SEC's recent action represents a dramatic shift from the agency's previous leadership, which tended toward an aggressive, enforcement-heavy strategy under Gary Gensler. An approach that is more cooperative, even practical, is suggested by this new joint filing. It is evident from the motion that both parties wish to prevent additional litigation. More significantly, it suggests a common desire to shift away from ongoing legal disputes and toward a regulatory structure. The filing was huge, yet the cryptocurrency market hardly moved. In the hours following the release, XRP fell, not because of the news per such, but rather because of the day's overall decline in market mood. This is significant both legally and symbolically, even though the price action may not reflect it. With a handshake, a punishment, and a clear path forward for Ripple, the lawsuit that once appeared to be set to define the legal future of cryptocurrency in America may soon come to a conclusion. However, nothing is finalized yet. Judge Torres has warned that only extraordinary circumstances would warrant an indicative finding, and she has previously deemed certain aspects of the judicial process in this case to be incorrect. The SEC and Ripple contend that these conditions are appropriate. This isn't just a money disagreement after all. It's among the most widely followed court cases in the history of cryptocurrency. In the event that the motion is granted, Ripple will receive its largest victory to date, pay the $50 million, and receive the remaining $75 million. The business would no longer be in conflict with the government. It would be the business that refused to back down and contributed to redefining the U.S. regulatory environment for digital assets. Naturally, experts were unable to watch this happen passively. They have already made a huge prediction. A spike in XRP that might surprise everyone. We're discussing a move that could surprise even longtime holders since it's so sudden and dramatic. Wait to see what happens next if you believe the lawsuit was significant. This has the potential to revolutionize both XRP and the cryptocurrency market as a whole. John Squire didn't mince words. The latest iteration of Bitcoin is called Xrp. A bold assertion, but it represents a growing conviction that Xrp, not as digital gold but as digital infrastructure, might lead the next stage of global financial revolution. Bitcoin Twitter is exploding. Amonix hinted that XRP is very near. Are you thrilled? There will be rewards for patience. The latest price decline was confronted head-on by the former finance bull. Are you considering selling because you're afraid of this XRP decline? Rethink your thought. It is almost time for the floodgates to open. Everything that Ripple has created is coming together. These tweets are more than simply buzz. They reflect a more general mood among supporters of XRP. Now that the foundation has been established, the reward is in sight. However, prominent figures like Pompeius, who recently caused a stir by asserting that XRP would eventually reach $10,000, are making some of the most startling forecasts. It is based on a thorough monetary velocity model, not on wishful thinking. His argument? XRP is at the forefront of a global liquidity reset as the world tokenizes physical assets, digitizes debt markets, and looks for quicker, less expensive cross-border settlement. According to Pompeius, the price per XRP might reach 4 or even 5 digits if it takes up even 10% of the $7.5 trillion daily currency market, together with a portion of real-world asset tokenization and debt settlements, and if that volume fluctuates quickly. This thesis questions conventional wisdom regarding the value of cryptocurrencies. He notes that when it comes to utility tokens utilized in quick settlement layers, market capitalization is a faulty indicator. Such a valuation, according to critics, would suggest a market capitalization in the quadrillions, which is significantly larger than the size of the world economy. However, proponents argue that we should think about assets like XRP based on their usefulness rather than their static worth. It just doesn't make sense to price XRP like a stock or commodity if it turns into a vital infrastructure asset. There are even more hostile voices. Jack the Rippler sent out an astounding tweet. It's possible that XRP will hit $30,000. Crypto Geek, on the other hand, just posted $3,861 for XRP. One thing is certain, regardless of whether these figures are aspirational or prophetic. The XRP community has changed their perspective. They have thousands in mind. Pompeius responds bluntly when people laugh at the notion of XRP reaching $10,000. You're already priced out of the future if you believe that XRP won't reach $10,000. He believes that not believing in large numbers is the true error. The configuration that would enable them is being disregarded. The trajectory to $10,000 seems ludicrous, given that XRP is now priced at about $2. A 454,445% rise. Let's now explore XRP Ripple's most recent collaboration. Ripple has been making waves, as we all know. But this? You don't realize just how big it is. This isn't your typical transaction. It's the most optimistic indication the cryptocurrency community has seen in a long time. Believe me, what follows could alter your entire understanding of XRP. Therefore, Ripple's recent decision to strengthen its connections with Japan's Web3 ecosystem is a major turning point for the blockchain industry there, as well as for the long-term viability and worldwide adoption of XRP. Supported by the Asia Web3 Alliance, Japan, and Japan's Foreign Trade Association, Ripple has announced a new funding project in collaboration with Web3 Salon. By offering entrepreneurs developing on the XRP ledger up to $200,000 per project, this program seeks to spur innovation in fields like digital payments, tokenized real-world assets, and decentralized banking. It goes beyond